Hey, what's up guys? It's Ivan, and in this video I want to show you how to create a Google Ads shopping campaign, which are the image ads that show up above the search ads. So if you're an e-commerce store, this is especially useful for you. So here I went to google.com, I typed in buy jeans, and these are all shopping ads right over here. As you can see, they have the images, they're much more appealing, attention grabbing, and they show up above the search ads. Now, this is actually part of my upcoming membership site here at ivanmena.com/marketing-blueprint. And this is part of the Google Ads Mastery module, which is about 11 hours on Google Ads, everything from creating your campaigns, setting up tracking, setting up the remarketing, all the audiences, scaling and optimization, everything you need to know about Google Ads. So check it out at ivanmena.com/marketing-blueprint, and let's get into the video.
All right, so now let's create a shopping campaign. So the first thing we need to do before we click on create campaign here with Google, what we have to do is upload our items to the Google Merchant Center. So if you don't have an account yet, you have to create one. So just type in Google Merchant Center and then just click on this option over here. And if you don't have an account, click on Start Now. And then you're going to see something like this. So we're just going to go again, top to bottom, answer all the questions. Do you sell products online? We'll say yes. What is your store's website? We can come in here and actually for this one, right, it was t-shirt. This was the product that supposedly we're selling here. So we can just enter it here. But if you're an e-commerce store, of course, this will make much more sense and you will have the whole store with all the different products. Next, you can choose whether you have a physical store or not. So whether you actually sell physical products or not. They do allow certain non-physical products, but they do have to meet certain criteria. So it's much easier if you have a physical e-commerce store. This is perfect. So we're going to click continue here. And then we're just going to have to verify ourselves a little bit. So show your products on Google for free. Let's just scroll down. Let's say continue. So here we're going to enter the business name. Let's say Dynamic Growth Agency. We're going to enter the country, choose if you want to get personalized emails or get invitations. I don't want that. I'm going to click on continue here. And it says welcome, perfect. So now we just have to do all of these things, right? So we have to first verify ourselves, add the business address, verify the phone number, so on and so forth. And then we're going to finally add the products. So I'm going to show you how to do all of that. So let's click here, add business address. And what you have to do is just add the business address. So I'm going to enter the address here and then I'm going to click on continue. All right, so that's perfect. I added the address and the online store immediately got confirmed as well, so you don't have to do anything like that. Now we need to verify the phone number. Let's click verify. I'm gonna enter the number, verify it, and then click on continue. All right, we're making progress. So just a few things left. So now we need to add details for how we're gonna ship our product. So let's click add. We can click add or remove countries. So wherever it is that you ship, so let's say in our case, Canada. Let's say Canada, we'll click confirm. So we'll go with Canada. Actually, you know what, let's just go United States as well. Makes sense, right? So let's say all of North America, and then we'll click on continue. And so now we're going to define the shipping policy. So let's say this one is shipping policy North America. We're going to select both of these. Let's say they both have the exact same policies. And then here we can say, hey, this will apply for all products or for a specific product. So we don't have any products yet, but we will. So for now, we just have to go with all products. Let's click on continue. And then this is where we're going to enter the order cutoff, the handling time, the transit days, all of that stuff. So let's say maximum 5 days here. So here it tells you, all destinations 0 to 6 business days, handling time 0 to 2 days. And if you need additional information on any of these, you can just read this. If you have an e-commerce store, this is like second nature too. This is just basic information about your business and your delivery and transit times. So we'll just leave it like that and say continue. And this is where we're going to specify the currency. We're going to say free shipping, or we're going to say no shipping below a certain value. So let's say no shipping below $20, for example, or $20. And then for $20 and above, do we want free shipping? Do we want a flat rate? Do we want a certain price? So flat rate, let's suppose for $2. Again, obviously you would know these numbers inside out about your business, right? I'm just putting some numbers in just so we can continue. But depending on your rate, the weight, the number of items, this is what your shipping cost would be. So we'll click save. And it's just asking us to confirm. So that looks good. Let's click done. And now we just have to do one more thing before we are able to add our products. And there's an additional thing that has been added, and that's the return policy. So let's just do that as well. Let's click done or add. And if we have a website with a return policy, let's just enter our website here as an example. And we'll select this. Do you accept returns? Yes, yes. And we'll click done. And we'll return within, let's say, 10 days and only for the new products. Let's click done. Return method, we can have any of these options. Return label, download and print. Refund processing time, let's say 5 days. I'm just trying to fill in all these placeholders as fast as possible so that we can continue. So now that that's done, now we can do the sales price and then we can finally add the product. So let's come in here, or sorry, sales tax, I mean. So for Alabama and Alaska, for example, we have a specific, let's say, sales tax. So we can come in here, say manual, and say, let's say 10% here and 5% here. Okay, so again, these are numbers you would know. So this is something that you would work with as it relates to your brand. So we'll just click no, we'll hit save. And there you go. So now we need to add our product. So we can click add over here, or we can just click products here. And then there are different options you have for adding the product. So let me show you what those are. So the first option is add products one by one. Okay, so this is going to be the most tedious option, but it's going to be the most straightforward because when you click on continue here, you'll see everything that Google is asking of you. So it's very visual, very easy to do, and you just go down and fill in the blanks. So in our case, we're just selling one shirt. So this is going to be the easiest way to do it. We just fill in the blanks, we add the shirt, and that's it. If you have 2, 3, maybe 4 products, this is going to be easiest. Now, if you have hundreds of products, that's not going to work for you. So in that case, you'll want to do the other 3. You can add using API. So this has more to do with the developer. So if you're working with someone who helps you manage the store, you would need to ask them to do that. But the other 2 options for doing that, if you don't have the API, is add products from a file. So if you have the link to the file, you can just paste it here. And when you click on how to create a file, you'll get their suggestions for what fields you need to fill in. So over here, it's going to tell you, if you scroll down, the ID, the title, the description. If you scroll to the right, you'll see everything you need, right? Or you could upload a file from your computer. So in our WooCommerce store that we used for part of the GetResponse module on email marketing, we could access our products and then we could just export all the products and then we can import them here, right? So this is the other thing you can do. You can use SFTP or Google Cloud if you have your file available there. Now, last but not least, you have the Google Sheets. And if you're totally unfamiliar with any of these other options, this option will allow you to just edit and add everything using the Google template. So it's going to be much easier if you're completely lost and not sure what the template would look like. So you can come in here and say use template, and then you're going to sign in. And then here you'll be able to add all the information. Now, before you finish, so use this as a template. Before you finish, make sure to delete all of these, right? So again, this is going to be super, super easy for you guys that have an e-commerce store. You can either import or you can just use this. You know everything about your product. Let's just do one as a sample for our little shirt here. But hopefully you guys have a good enough idea to do it on your own as well. So the first thing we're going to do is the product ID. So here we see some examples. So we can just say A, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, for example. Again, these are numbers that you would know about your products, right? Next, you have the product title. So in our case, there's no description on it. So we'll just say Dynamic Growth Agency t-shirt. And then we can maybe make that a little bit bigger. And then here it's asking for a description. So let's come in here and let's just use ChatGPT, or we could have gone back to our site and just pulled the description from our site, but let's just do it here. Write a description for. Now, here's the thing with these shopping ads. It's that you aren't able to target by keywords, right? So you need to make sure that your description as perfectly as possible describes and matches what your product is, because you won't be able to choose which keywords you want to target. So it's very important that you provide as much detail as possible in the description and your headline to describe your product. Now, I don't mean as much as possible, like write paragraphs. I mean, make it concise and specific to what it is that your product is about. So in our case here, for example, maybe we want to target agency, right? So I'm going to add some words here that have to do with marketing agency, maybe internet agency, marketing dreams, maybe something about the product like soft cotton fabric. So look for things that people are going to be typing for, like a comfortable shirt, convenient shirt, right? So that's something that you would want to put. We're going to use this as an example because it's not real. And then here it just disappears. So of course you can slide this over, or what I found is if we just select this whole column here, we can go into, let's see, format, wrapping, and wrap, and then it just becomes a little bit easier here to manage. Maybe a little smaller, make it a little wider though. Then here you have to say whether it's available or not. So we're going to say in stock. Next you have the link. Okay, so the link to the product. So the product's landing page, that's going to be this one. We'll copy it, paste it here. Make sure it has the HTTPS, otherwise it's not going to work. We're going to go to the right. Next, we need an image link. Okay, so the image link has to end with JPG, right? So if you have a source file where you can grab this image from, that's great. If not, then we need to use something like IMGBB, and we're going to convert that into a file. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to upload that shirt that we have. So here's the shirt, and then we're just going to upload it, and then we're going to get the URL. Now it can't be this URL, right? Because they're saying that it has to be in, it tells you JPG, PNG, WebP, BMP, or TIFF. So that doesn't work. So we need to come in here and we need to look for the URL, something like this, and then we're going to copy that part. As long as it ends with the JPG. Okay, so if that doesn't work, let's just come in here, copy this into a notepad, and then we're just going to delete everything that doesn't have to do with the URL. Come in here, paste it just to check, and there you go, right? So we can use that over here. Let's paste it here. Then we're gonna set the price. So whatever the price was for that product, where's our URL right here? So let's click on get shirt now. I forgot how much it costs. I believe it's $39.99 or something. So $39.99 indeed. So we're gonna say $39.99. And then identifier, so if you have an identifier to identify this unique product, you would enter it here. Let's say no. Then the GTIN. So let's just come in here and just copy this because we don't have one for this specific product. MPN. So these two are required only if you know them or if you have them. If you don't have them, then you don't have to add them. But we're just going to add them here for the purpose of this example because why not? We do need the brand though, your product's brand name. So that's going to be Dynamic Growth Agency. And then these other things, they're just optional, right? So they will help with the targeting. So the product highlight, the product detail, the additional image length, the condition, the color, the size, any of these that you have, if you keep on going to the right, you will see all of these details. So if you can add them, certainly do so. And if you want to copy paste it from somewhere else, absolutely you can do so as well. So that's pretty much it for that. So that's easy, right? So just save this. And then whenever you edit files and content here, it's going to be edited automatically in your merchant store. Actually, one more thing we do have to do is delete the rows. So I always forget that and end up coming back. So let's come in here and just delete rows 2 to 4 or 2 to 5 right here. We're going to select delete rows 2 to 5, and then that's it. So you'll have this available. We can come back here, and then we're going to enter the feed label, so something to identify it with. It says here that it has to be uppercase, digits, hyphens, or underscore. So let's just say Dynamic Growth Agency Products, something like that. We'll click Save, and now we can hit Continue. And now we can always come back and update that template when we need to. And now it's just going to grab that data. If you ever need to update this again, you just click here and make any changes you like. So now that that's good, we can just close out of that and we should see the products here shortly. So I'm going to pause the video for a bit and come back when it finishes fetching the data. Okay, so that took about 5 minutes and now the product is here. It is not approved and I'll show you how to fix that shortly. But first of all, if you want to get back to that Excel sheet later on, suppose you have it closed, what you can do is you can go to View Data Sources and this will show you all the data sources from which this data is pulled. So then you just click here. And then you'll see that Google Sheet. So you can always come in here and just always make any changes as you see fit. However, in this case, if we want to make very specific concrete changes and we're not sure where the problem lies, what Google wants in this case, we could close out of that, and then we can just manually edit this specific product. So normally you can come into needs attention and you can see what the problems are. So unsupported image type, if that file that we used with IMG didn't really work so well. Now for something like that, it might take a few days for it to work. So don't worry about that. But if we need this product up right away, we can make immediate changes to fix that. So we're just going to come back here. We're going to click on edit and we're just going to go from top to bottom. Most of it is going to be pre-filled, but we can come in here and just change whatever they need. So like for example here, unsupported image type, I'm just going to go in here and add the image manually. So there you go. I added that and I'm just going to hit save and I'm going to delete that and I'm going to use this as the main image. So hopefully that error goes away. Let's keep going and let's see what the other issues are. So you could enter a category here. So this is like, so it's under apparel and accessories perhaps. And then for the condition, we'll say new. For the price, it didn't get updated. And that's because we entered with the $sign $39.99. We were supposed to enter just $39.99. So that was my fault, but we can just fix that here. So sale price, if we have a special discount, we'll say $29.99 from the 6th until the 8th. We got that promotion going on. We can scroll down and just look at this and see if there are any other issues. So because this is a shirt, right, Google automatically identified that and said, hey, like you got to enter more information about it. So for this shirt, let's say we have black, let's say we have black, we have pink, we have white, we have red. For the sizes, we have medium, small, and large. And for the size type, big and regular for the size system. So what system is the size for? Let's say US. And then for the gender, so this one is for males or only females. So let's say unisex. Material, age group, not for infants, it's for adults. And let's see if there are any other issues. So we can just go through this and manually sort any issues that might be there. Nothing is in red, so that means any of the other things that we can fill in are just optional. So let's come in here and double check, make sure everything is good. So this still says unsupported image type. Let me see if I can just re-add this. Let me just delete that. Let me click on add image and let me add that image again. So once again, it says success. Let's see if the message will go away. Okay, so that's fine. We're just gonna save this and hope the message goes away. Let's hit save. And now here we have our updated product. So we can come back now. And we're just gonna keep an eye on this. Now it's gonna say processing. Again, I'm gonna pause the video just to make sure that we at least have one product to work with. And then once this works, we're gonna connect it to our Google Ads store and then head back into Google Ads to create a shopping campaign. I'll see you shortly. All right, so another few minutes later, now it just says under review. So that means everything is good. We've set everything up correctly. Now it's just a matter of the Google Ads team going through this and seeing if this is a good fit for them to promote on the Google Ads network. So now what we have to do is actually integrate our accounts and then head back over into Google Ads and select this shop, and it's gonna just show the products automatically. So we're gonna go to add campaigns over here. We're gonna click on get started. And now we just have to connect our account. So the first thing I'm gonna do is enable this two-step authentication so that we can proceed with the steps and integrate our account. All right, so I went ahead and enabled that two-step authentication for the account. So now what we have to do is link to Google Ads. So we're gonna click on link over here, and we're just going to select the relevant Google Ads account. So we wanna come back here and we wanna pick that account ID, which starts with 686. So if you don't see it here, then you can just click on accounts you don't manage, and then you would enter that ID over there, and then I'll show you where to go to accept it. So let's enter that, that's 686 148 7507. Now, actually, for me, this is an agency account or a manager account. So that's why my account ID for this specific account is on the left-hand side here. In your case, if you just select the one account, then it's going to be on your right side, right over there in the top right. So then that's the account number that you're going to use. So let's come back in here. Let's click on send link request. We're going to say link. So we're going to go back into our account. We're going to go into tools, tools, data manager. And then we should see a request here, or you should see a little notification that says that there's a request pending. So you'll just click on manage and link, and you'll click on received, and we're just gonna review it and then approve it. So we just wanna make sure that this is legitimate, right? And we know it is because it's coming from us. So that's it, it's linked. And now we can come back here, we should refresh the page and we'll see the link there. And so then you're gonna see this. It gives you the option to create a campaign, but of course we're gonna be doing it inside of our Google Ads account. So we'll just come back here. We'll click on campaigns, and then we're gonna click on the little plus sign that's gonna show up. We're gonna say new campaign, and let me just close out of some of these options here. We don't need that site anymore. We don't need that anymore. Let's come back here, and then we're gonna say create without a guidance. We're gonna select shopping, and we're gonna select these actions because that's what we want, right? The checkout and purchase. And then we're gonna select our store. So that's the store that we connected via that merchant center. So it says there are no products. There are products, but there aren't any approved products yet. So that's okay. We can still create the campaign. And as soon as the products get approved here in Google Merchant Center, we're gonna be able to use them. So let's come back here, and we're not gonna choose a performance max campaign. That's gonna be a topic for another video. We're gonna choose standard shopping campaign right here. So we're gonna click on continue, and then once again, we're gonna set up all the steps step by step. So we're gonna give it a name. So let's say shopping dynamic growth agency. You can click on additional settings, and here you'll be able to filter by inventory. So you can come in here and you can say, hey, I only want specific products to show up right now. Or you can say, I wanna show everything. You can say local products if you want to turn on ads for products in local stores. So we didn't do anything related to local, so we don't have to worry about that. But you have an option when you create a Google Merchant Center that you can specify that, hey, these products are only for a specific region. They're not for all over the world. So that's when this would really apply. You have the campaign URL options. Again, as I was saying, you just avoid that for now. And then you have the bidding. So you can pay per click. You can give Google the directive to maximize the number of clicks or for target ROAS. Now, we don't have any conversion data yet, right? So we can't do this yet. So we're gonna go with manual CPC, and we're gonna say, hey, we wanna pay per click. We're gonna come in here and set a budget. Let's give this $100 as well. Now, campaign priority, if you have different shopping campaigns, then you will be able to prioritize and say, hey, this one's more important. I want this to be high priority. And the other shopping campaign I have, not quite as important, because you'll have the same campaigns shown to mostly the same audiences, right? So that's where you'll be able to separate and say, hey, which of these campaigns do I want priority? So we can put this one as high, even though it doesn't matter because that's the only campaign we have. We are only promoting on Google. We don't want search partners. Devices, there is no option to adjust it here for shopping, but you should know how to edit it for campaigns that do offer that option. Locations, again, so we said Canada and US, right? So we got to stick by that. Let's say Canada and United States. Scroll down, location options. Again, hit presence. You should know why by now. Start and end dates, ad group name. So ad group name, we can just say ad group 1. There's not much customization here. So unlike the search campaigns, the display campaigns where you can set the targeting, you don't do that here, right? So over here for the cost per bid, let's say we want to click 50 cents, or we want to pay, 50 cents per click. We can do that here. The only difference with the ad groups that you can do is select which products you want to promote. So you can say, hey, for this ad group, if I'm selling furniture, I'm going to be selling only sofas. For this other ad group, I'm going to be selling chairs, whatever it is, right? So let's click on create campaign. And that should be it. So there's not much you can do here in terms of this, but if you click over here and you go to, click on the little plus sign over there, you'll be able to subdivide all products by specific category. So however you want to do it, once you have more products here, hundreds of products, of course, it's going to make a little more sense. And then you can adjust the bids for those specific groups. So that's that option here. Let me just show you all the different targeting options when it comes to that campaign type, because there aren't many. Let's go back to campaigns. Awfully laggy today. So here's the shopping. As you can see, it's got that little shopping icon there to indicate that it's shopping. So let's click here. And then you have the products. So this is where you're going to be able to see all of the available products, all of the approved products right over here. So nothing is approved yet. That's why you don't see it. But once you do, you're going to see the title, the item, the status, and then of course you're going to see all the data. So once we get to the columns section, I'll show you which columns are the recommended ones that I use. And then you'll be able to use those to sort the data, to see the conversions, the checkouts, the clicks, the CTRs, so on and so forth. But that's basically it for the shopping campaign. So limited control, but super broad range and very visual and an absolute must for e-commerce stores. So I hope this was helpful, as we've created already 4 of these different campaign types, and I look forward to seeing you in the next lesson.
So that is how you create a Google Ads shopping campaign. Hopefully that was helpful. Once again, if you guys found value and you want to learn more about Google Ads and explore all the different options that Google Ads has for you and your business, take a look at my upcoming membership site at ivanmana.com/marketing-blueprint, where you can learn the A to Z of marketing online, not just Google Ads, but Facebook ads, other traffic sources, email marketing, tracking and analytics, creating a website, conversion rate optimization, everything like that, everything to do with marketing your business online. So that is all for this video. Thank you for watching. I will see you in the next one.